Strayed Lights is a beautiful, unique experience, but it's also a little flawed. As much as I appreciated this game solely depending on color matching parries, Strayed Lights suffers from inconsistency, an uninteresting motive for my character, and more than a few glitches. So let's go ahead and talk about it. I loved the idea of the color coordinated parries. I thought that's unique, it's different than anything I've really played, and having the combat dependent on that I thought was different for me. It's something interesting. Essentially what this game is you are parrying enemies to absorb their light, and then you use that light to unleash energy attacks which will finish them off and defeat them. You can also accumulate light in order to execute special attacks, which you will unlock from a skill tree. It's a basic formula. When the enemy is orange, you change your color to orange. When it's blue, then you go blue. When it's purple, that means you have to dodge. Sounds simple enough, right? It's actually harder than it looks, especially when an enemy really starts to mix things up. It can be difficult recovering after missing one parry and then trying to essentially play catch up for the following parries. And before I knew it, it was all downhill and I was dead. Punishing yet forgiving is the best way to describe the difficulty in this game. Basically, if you have a successful parry, you will get some health back. So whenever I was close to dying, I just did my best to parry and get some of that health back, or even better, if I defeated the enemy, I would get all of it back. So it never felt too challenging because of this. Art style and graphic wise, this game is beautiful. There's some really key moments in the game that had me say, wow, this is super pretty. Talk about some nice looking atmosphere, as well as the cool character and boss designs. Some of the bosses were so great looking, it had me thinking that this game would probably benefit if it was just a boss rush. And that's when it hit me and I kind of realized that the fluff, the fat, whatever you want to call it, fighting the smaller enemies along the way just wasn't too much fun by the second half of the game. It got to the point where I actually ran past some of them just because I could and I wanted to see the next boss. So a boss rush I think would have worked for this game, but for what it is and as it is, it's not a bad experience. It's just not one that I'm going to remember for too long. Strayed Lights is very driven by its atmosphere and paying attention to the environment, which I could really appreciate. There's no map and it can be easy to get turned around if you're not paying attention. Claw marks, for example, that are on the walls or on the ground, they're indication that you're going the right way. And then you also have these deer-like creatures which will run away or they'll kind of lead you in the right direction as well. You have to kind of just look at your surroundings and see where you need to go. And I like that. I love when games can get me immersed into the environment, especially one as pretty as this. The motives of my protagonist were clear in the beginning. I felt I was protecting those deer-like creatures and progressing through the world to escape, but then about midway, the point of the game kind of gets lost. And I just kind of felt like I was going through the motions in order to kill the bosses and then just complete the game, basically. The bosses themselves, though, are super interesting. Some of them really great looking with cool movesets. I appreciated that, and I found myself dying more than a few times to them. However, some of it was due to inconsistent inputs, which I felt held this game back. But besides that, it was pretty satisfying. As you can tell by this review, Strayed Lights overall is just very hit or miss. Some things I really like, other things not so much. On top of it, there are glitches in the game that happened whenever I did something different, like not really following the main path or falling into the water or just trying something that wasn't in the script, so to speak. The game would just kind of freak out on me and act a bit funky. It's not a perfect game, but I'd say if you're into some short indie gems, beautiful looking atmospheres, and just something a bit different to cleanse your palate, this could be your jam. And that's pretty much my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a very hit or miss game. Some things I thought were really cool, really nice looking, interesting, and other things just not really so much. So you know, take that as you will. I hope you guys enjoyed what I said here and what you saw. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Leave a like and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.